We'll now call the meeting to order. We're going to do things a little bit different today. We're going to have to start out with the Durant Utilities Authority instead of the regular council meeting. So therefore, we will wait till the regular council meeting to do the invocation and the flag salute. We want to welcome everybody here today. It's great to see people back out in action again and to have these plastic things not up here anymore. So welcome everybody. So we'll now have the roll call.
Okay, Trustee Brittingham?
Here.
Trustee Miller?
Here.
Trustee Morris?
Here.
Vice Chairman Shear?
Here.
Chairman Groby?
Here, we're all here today. Our first order of business is consent items. As you all know, consent items can be accepted as one vote, or you can pull any item out to be voted on separate. So are there any discussion or anyone want to take anything out of consent? If not, do we have a motion that we approve consent items?
Motion to approve consent items.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Would the secretary please call the, I guess we vote now. For those of you who haven't been here, we have a new voting system, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time for it to, it showed up quick today. How about that? Okay, great. Okay, our next item, we did not remove any items from consent. Information items. If not, we'll move on to administration. Discussion, consideration, and possible action on selection of a solid waste disposal site and authorize the mayor execute an agreement. Mr. John.
Yes, ma'am. We received our contract for solid waste disposal expires at the end of this month. We received two proposals, one from the company we're currently with, Sword, and a proposal from Republic, which is out of McAllister. And when we evaluated the numbers, the cost is almost the exact same for Sword or for Republic. And so staff recommends that we continue our relationship with Sword. Recommend that approval.
Is there any discussion? Good relationship with Swords, I think.
Yes, ma'am, since the early 90s.
Okay. Any discussion? If not, do we have a motion?
I move we authorize the mayor to make an agreement with Sword for solid waste removal.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Would the secretary please record the vote? No, we'll vote. Sorry. First one speak. Motion passes. Item number 5, new business. To my knowledge, I don't think there's any new business. Do we have a motion for adjournment from the Durant City Utility Authority?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Would the secretary please call the roll? Nope. I'm going to say that every time. Motion passed. We are now adjourned. Now, we are now, I'll call to order the Durant Airport Authority. Okay. Ready?
Well, everyone is going to have to sign into this meeting.
I gotta leave this meeting, right? Yeah. Okay. Are you sure you wanna leave? Yes, then I go here.
Oh, he's good? All right, sweet.
I'm good. Okay, we're now called to order. We all signed in. Would the secretary please record the vote?
Call the roll.
Yep.
Trustee Brittingham,
Here.
Trustee Miller,
Here.
Trustee Morris,
Here.
Vice Chairman Shear,
Here.
Chairman Groby.
Here. Once again, we're all here. Number one, under consent items, A, B, C. If anyone wishes, they can pull any item out for separate discussion, or we can accept them all as one vote. Any discussion? Anyone wish to make a motion that we accept consent items?
All motion, we approve the consent items.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Now we vote. Motion passed. Next item, 2, we voted on that. Number 3, information items, airport manager report. Mr. Wyatt.
It's actually a real pleasure to be up here. I'm normally not getting to do that, and now I have somebody I can say, hey, you go cut the grass and let me go report. I'd have to start off thanking James Dalton for covering me because, we were trying to do a lot. We've been growing the airport pretty well, and through the middle of that, it's been taking a lot of time to fuel jets, to work with the pilots, the corporations that are here, and, entice new people to come in. One of the things that's really fun and exciting what's going on is that Durant is really being looked at as a community for outside business to come in, and I think that's a big credit to what's going on in the city right now. I'm going to say it this way, and I don't mean it how it says, but Durant is not Mayberry RFD. We're a big economy, and because of our location, this airport is extremely important and vital to outside company. We're called every day at the airport by different companies coming in, and I also get asked every day, is everybody coming to the casino? And that is not the case. Most of the traffic that we have coming into Durant are home-based people and then outside corporations coming in, looking at land to acquire new businesses, coming to exotic ranches, going to lake houses. There's just a lot going on around this area. And, I think it's wonderful. We're also getting these corporations wanting to do business on the airport. And we've got a lot of good people in the city. Lisa's here and James is here, and all of you guys that were in, the airport today see what's going on with, the interest. We've got, and I hate to even mention names of people looking, but we do have scheduled airlines looking at the city of Durant right now. And I think that's such a big change from where we've been in the past. We don't have a big website or anything like that. But just to give you a little update on some of the numbers for last month, we sold 1,277 gallons of 100 low lead as a full service, and we also sold 1,682 gallons as self-service since the installation of the new tank. So that's something that's going to be new for us again, something we used to have a long time ago, and then it closed down. So we have an operational 100 low lead fuel farm. We do have a couple little issues that James and I are working on, some of the construction issues. I don't know how much James would like me to get into that, but there are some issues with the slab that was installed with a pitch, and then the tank was developed with a pitch on it. So now it's got twice the pitch that it's supposed to be, which will cause, in our opinion, a slight deviation in what's actually usable fuel. So we may think we have 600 gallons left, and we may have 300. Or it might be the actual opposite way. We might have 1,200 gallons, but we can only tap 300 of it. And so we're still trying to do the math, get the consultants to work with us on that. We're waiting on them to show up, and then James is actively working on that end of it. And we're also working on another side note with the fuel farms, which is the new NATA requirements that have come out from the federal government. And that has to do with overfill protection, grounding protection, and I'll probably address it with the fire marshal directly and see if we could present a waiver for the city without us having to go in and spend some money that we really shouldn't have to spend, because we have dead man controls on all of our units already. And the federal government's wanting to tie in what's called Scully systems. And basically what that means is that we can spend $15,000 per truck, per tank, to add Scully systems for extra grounding and extra overfill protection. We're lucky that we already have dead man and extra grounding on all of our existing tanks. The new system we put in already has Scully on it. The 100 low lead fuel refueler is a leased item, so that company, Titan Fuels, would actually have to absorb that if we needed to go to that side. As a quick note on the Jet A for last month, we sold 11,476 gallons for a total of $39,045.18 for a total sales of about $50,578. Total sales numbers, 104, that's not counting the movement fees, and we're starting to move aircraft and charge for that. That's mainly on a special request. Somebody drops in an airplane, would like it moved to a hangar, something like that, and we charge for that service. We do have some overnight hangar fee charges going on now. We charged last month $400 in overnight fees, and we have that ongoing right now. We are slowly updating our hangars, our 40-year-old hangars, are the first ones that we're working on. As we get time, we're balancing the cables, we're changing lights, fixing ballast, or changing them to LEDs. We have actually installed on our own a new ADS-B ground station, and we're actively working on that and fine-tuning it. We'll probably have to use Brenton a little bit to help us out, further fine-tune the software on it, and it helps monitor in real time the aircraft that are coming in instead of using the free FlightAware software that's available to everyone. And this is free, by the way, but the free FlightAware software has a big delay, a 5, 6, 7 minute delay. It also doesn't allow us to see all the aircraft, whereas the ground station will allow us to see that, and so we don't get quite as surprised if we're out on a lawnmower and a jet comes flying in and we have to jump off of it and go park them. One of the big things that we've been actively working on is a 5-year contract with Titan Fuels. And at this point, they've presented a contract to us. I do have a copy. I think you guys have it with you. And that contract holds some incentives for the city and for the airport if we sign that contract. They've been providing a 100 low lead refueler for free. They will also, if we decide to go to a Jet A truck, we'll do that for free for a year. We'll start paying $350 a month for the 100 low lead refueler, but they're going to give us $20,000 in incentive money to help with anything we need around the airport. They're also going to put in $10,000 minimum for a signage for us on the outside sign to have the new Titan Fuels if somebody wants to fight the bees. We do have a lot of honeybees out there. They have other incentives. They actually branded us, so our fuel trucks now say Titan Fuels. And you'll see on the bottom of the monthly manager report, awaiting replacement sign, there was a little incident at the airport from a college student who didn't make the perfect landing and ran over one of our intersection signs, and the college insurance will be paying for it, and we've already ordered it, and as soon as it comes in, we'll be putting that sign in. We also have the PAPIs on 17 are out. It's a navigational aid, and we're working on that one. OG&E had a blown transformer, and we've been waiting on the electrician, but we may go ahead and change the fuses on the PAPI so we can be back up and running on that. Other than that, I think that's all I have.
Any questions for him, anybody?
You state that you have phone outages. Who's the phone service with?
The problem is I think it's a combination of just broadband problems, water problems in the lines. I know Brent's probably sick of hearing from me. We were actually down all morning again and didn't realize it. And he's reminding me, and I forget a lot, to unplug the KSU and plug it back in. But what's happening is when the phone goes down, we can pick up the phone, it'll have a dial tone, but we can't call out, we can't receive calls. And so what happens is, the way I find out is the Choctaw Nation will call my cell phone and chew on me a little bit and go answer your phone in Jamaica. You know, we're gonna have a global air coming in Wednesday from Jamaica. If we don't answer the phone, we probably lose some business.
So that's from the point where the phone company stops and...
I think it kind of goes back and
we
forth.
maintain the line, or is that on the phone company's end?
Well, sometimes it's the phone company, sometimes it's us with like a broadband, sometimes, Brenton might be able to explain it better than me. I know he's having to work on it a lot.
Yeah, so with the setup we have out there, the phone system forwards it to their cell phones if no one's sitting at the desk. A lot of times what's happening is either there is an AT&T outage, or the phone forwards to their cell phone, but that PBX never gets the disconnect signal from the cell phone, so it ties up that line. So there's a lot of issues going on out there. Hopefully one day we can get them on VoIP and clean that system up a lot. Yep, we'll just gotta get the broadband out there.
I have AT&T, and it goes at the
So if you're and we're probably on the same copper lines.
Can't use my card terminal.
Yep.
Don't take money when you don't have internet anymore.
It's an aging technology. I think they're working on getting rid of all the copper lines by 2023 is what I was told today, and move everything to fiber, so they're not investing any money in it.
And Brendan has worked hard at trying to get it fixed. I'm one of these type A guys that go, hey, it's broke, let's fix it, but, because I get hollered at from quite a few people if it's not working, but he's trying pretty hard. It's not ignoring us, so they're actively trying to fix the problem.
Any other questions for John?
I'd like to know what profit was made on the fuel sales.
They vary day to day as we make purchases, okay? For example, we purchased actually about 8,000 gallons of 100 low lead Monday and 7,200 gallons of Jet A Monday. And Tuesday, the price went up 20-something cents a gallon. So we kind of did it at the right time. And so we don't have to worry about the price increase until we need to reorder again. So we're working at the current price. I mean, some people do their way, but that's a way of really upsetting a lot of corporations and pilots. We try to keep it steady as much as possible. We also compare with all the other airports that could pair with our size, see where they're at, and we're all playing little games about how to attract the most business. But the profitability is definitely better on a Jet A. I mean, you look at the quantity sold and the pricing structure, I mean, that's where the money is. The GA aircraft is buying the 100 low lead and the avgas, and it takes a whole lot of avgas to compare with Jet A sales. But I would say probably it's around 35% on Jet A and probably less than that on 100 low lead.
Thank you.
You bet.
Anyone else? Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Good to see you here today.
Thank you.
James, did you want to give a report?
Mayor, he pretty well gave everything. With regard to the fuel tank, we've involved Tom with that, and we're negotiating on how to resolve that issue on that 100 low lead fuel farm. And they presented a basic plan for the drainage, but they have not presented any plan for the correction of the tilt on the tank. I am going to contact the tank manufacturer. The thing I'm interested in now is I want to see with the tilt of that tank if it creates or shortens the life of the tank, if it creates too much end pressure on the end of the tank, and I want their engineers to verify with us, not with the consultant or anyone else. I want it to verify with us that will not shorten the life of that tank. So that's kind of the direction we're going with that. So hopefully we'll have a resolve on that before long.
Any questions for James?
Thank you.
Thank you, James. Okay, we will move on to item number 4, administration. Consider approval of aviation fuels contract between Easton Aviation Fuels, DBA Titan Aviation Fuels, and the Grant Airport Authority, C-21-33.
Again, John had already touched on this, and you have a copy of that contract. Titan has provided us good fuel service. We've been very pleased with their timeliness. Even when fuel, we've had a little bit of problems in this part of the country sometimes getting fuel even for our public works area, and there's been kind of a fuel shortage, and Titan has done a really good job keeping us up to speed, and when we call them, they work really hard to get us fuel. Just like John says, we have 2 tanks, and we have the capability of taking a tanker load, which is 8,000 gallons, and putting it in our tank, so we get that volume discount. But again, you have the contract before you. He hit a lot of the highlights. Tom has reviewed the contract and sees no issues with it, and as staff, we recommend approval of the contract.
Anyone have any questions, any discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the contract between Eastern Aviation Fuels, DBA Titan Aviation, and City of Durant Airport Authority.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion. We have a second. We'll now vote. happens quick.
I know.
It's happening quick. Y'all get better. Okay, motion passes 5-0. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much, James. On to new business, I don't think there is any. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
I'll motion for adjournment.
Motion for adjournment, do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion, we have a second. Would the secretary? No, we'll do it. It's gonna take me a while to get used to our new system here.